having four people working together for so long, I mean, just the statistically, the dynamics are going to be complicated because there's always going to be one or two people in that group of four who are going to have like conflicts. What are some of the things that you guys had conflicts over the course of the band?
One of the big ones, and I would say that this is something that probably affects a lot of bands and artists, is the scope of what each person's role is in the band.
Yeah.
I think oftentimes these things ebb and flow, and who shoulders the weight or more of the weight and responsibility in the band ebbs and flows based on, a number of things, what you may have going on in your own personal life, how invested you are at the time in the group, because when you're in a group long enough, there are years where you're like, this is my everything. I love this. I absolutely, I want to put 100% of my energy into this. And there are other times when you feel the burnout and you're like, I could take a step back. That's a very real thing. And I think where we've succeeded is that in those moments, another person has come up to kind of meet the challenge and to shoulder some of that weight. And also vice versa. I think because throughout the course of the band, I sort of became for a while sort of the primary songwriter,
right,
and the primary creative in it. And I think there was a time when, because of that, I think Jack kind of divested a little bit for a minute. And I think, there was this moment I remember recognizing it feels like everyone's kind of checked out. And
when was that? Do you remember?
I would say around the time of there was a record called Future Hearts. Mm-hmm. And then we signed a new deal with Fueled by Ramen and made a record called Last Young Renegade. And I think it was sort of over that arc of time.
So like 2016 time.
Yeah, right? Maybe 2015, 16, into 17. Those years and those couple albums, I think there was just a weird dynamic within the band of like, I think I was maybe carrying too much of it. And I think other members felt not cut out, but just sort of uninvolved. I think there was this thing of like, we were all just showing up to do our job. And that was when we pivoted. I recognize it very, very much in Jack. I just kind of said like, his head's not in the game anymore. And I think he wants to be more in the game. And we ended up taking a little bit of a break, not like a hiatus. Like we didn't announce anything or anything like that, but we just took a step back and took some time for ourselves. And I did a project with Mark from Blink-182, and Jack did a project called Who Hurt You with a friend of ours, a collaborator of ours. His name's Kevin. And it was like sort of this pop project that Jack had a lot of direct involvement with. And I think doing those things at that time, it was extremely necessary. Because I think it allowed us to sort of separate and have a moment to ourselves, but then learn all of the things that we appreciated about being together and what was special about our band. And that was when we came back and made a record called Wake Up Sunshine.
To have that perspective, right, is important. And sometimes it's hard in the middle of it, right? Because probably you felt like you were doing all the writing and all the and carrying the burden on your shoulders, and probably maybe some of the other band members felt like you were shutting them out, like you weren't allowing them to participate. Mm-hmm. Did you guys have a conversation? Did you have somebody come in and like, I'm like a therapist or somebody to kind of help you guys talk it through? Or did you guys have that conversation literally where they were like, dude, we want to be part of this, but you're kind of like not letting us, or you were saying, hey, I'm doing everything and you guys aren't, like, did you have that conversation?
I think there was a moment when I don't want to say it came to a head because it was never confrontational. It was just sort of a recognition of the dynamic has really changed. And I think it was weighing on me particularly heavy in the sense that, it felt at the time like I'm the one traveling to write the music and I'm taking myself out of my real life to invest into this group. And I remember kind of sitting down and just saying like, look, this needs to get back to feeling like it used to, where all four of us were invested and involved. And I think it was less so about like boxing people out or wanting to have more control. I mean, I'm definitely, admittedly, like a bit of a control freak, especially with the creative stuff. Like I want to keep it on a certain path, but I don't think it ever got to a point where it was like no one was strong arming. It was kind of just, those were the roles we fell into, but those roles and to the degree to which we had taken on those roles were starting to become taxing. And we sat down and just said, like, look, we all need to take a step back and reinvest and kind of rebalance the scales and reestablish like what each one of us loves about this, what we love to bring to the table, what we offer, and let's kind of take, rebalance. And it was a very significant moment, and it was really helpful because it allowed us to kind of pinpoint the things that we felt were missing, which was, feeling like a band again, getting in a room and making music together again, and everybody having input and everybody, not just me sending people a folder of songs to go, which ones do you guys like? What should be on the record? That kind of thing. And it changed everything, because the second we recognized that, then I think everybody felt like a little more invested when we played them live. Everybody was happy to go back on the road. And to be honest, like some of this as well was we all needed to recharge our battery. I think there needed to be some time off tour. We had been touring so much at that point that I think we were all just a bit tired.
If you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire episode, click right here.